Hi everyone, welcome to the 24th episode of Daily Word Webs to Build the Cat. एक लियो टॉल्स्टॉय की एक शॉर्ट स्टोरी है. If you get a chance, after this session, just go and read that. It's a very interesting story. In fact, in one of the upcoming sessions, हम लोग एक short stories वाला भी एक series शुरू करेंगे. It will help us go through some really good vocabulary from the classics. Okay, so that story is titled "How Much Land Does a Man Need?" Right, and the author has really Leo Tolstoy, one of the greatest writers that we've ever had. Has basically given his take on a man's greed, right there. So yeah, that's kind of from where the title for today's session is inspired from. So yeah, and आज जो root हम लोग देखेंगे, that root is ter and terra, which stands for earth. Okay, earth as in land. Okay, so not exactly मैंने यहाँ पे earth word नहीं रखा है title में, it's land, but however ter or terra stands for earth. Okay, so let's start. So guys, ter or terra is derived from the Latin term, from the Latin language, okay, as opposed to geo, which was derived from the Greek language. अगर आपको याद हो कल के सेशन में से, है ना? And in both cases, the meaning is the same. In both cases, ter and terra, they also these roots also stand for earth, and geo also stands for earth. Okay, so let's start with the words. The word that we have for today, guys, is quite an interesting one. It's extraterrestrial. तो इसके भी दो पार्ट है. The second part, terrestrial, comes from ter or terra, that means earth. In this case, the planet earth. And extra comes from the same word extra, right? Latin में भी ये word extra ही होता है, which stands for outside. Okay, outside or except, or in some cases without. Okay, so in this case it means like extraterrestrial would be anything that exists or originates outside the earth or its atmosphere. जो भी हमारे ग्रह के हमारे ग्रह या उसके वातावरण के बाहर ओरिजिनेट होने वाली चीज़ें या रहने वाली चीज़ों को हम एक्स्ट्रा टेरेस्ट्रियल बोलेंगे. जनरली this term is used in conjunction with the word life, like extraterrestrial life is life that is not from earth, that is not indigenously or originally from earth. The word indigenous means natively. Indigenous ये वाले words पे हम लोग बाद में जाएंगे. So extraterrestrial, like for example, you must have heard of have you heard of this program called SETI? SETY, SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Now this is basically a collective term for all the scientific searches that are going on for intelligent extraterrestrial life, right? For example, there are antennas or the receivers put up to monitor electromagnetic radiations coming from various parts of the sky or of the universe, right? They, at all times they'll keep receiving or looking for electromagnetic radiation. In fact, there's a very interesting story about this, about SETI. In 1977, 15th August के दिन, I think it was Ohio State University, जो कि आपका US में है. They have this what they call the big ear telescope. They have this big ear telescope which detected some radio signals, which detected some really strong radio signals coming from the constellation Sagittarius, right? जो आपका Sagittarius, जिसको I think धनु राशि बोला जाता है, right, in Hindi. So coming from the constellation Sagittarius, and this signal is famously known as the wow signal. इसको बोला जाता है, the signal is known as the wow signal. The story ऐसा क्यों है मैं आपको बताता हूँ. This is quite interesting. थोड़ा सा vocabulary से हम लोग आगे जा रहे हैं, but bear with me. So this, ये जो आपके सामने ये जो figure दिख रहा है आपको, this what you see here, this is the, I think this is the record, this is the data recording of the signals being captured, and this is the part where the astronomer Jerry R. Ehman was the person who noted this anomaly. उन्होंने ये anomaly दी और ये signal, strong signal यहाँ पे note किया, and he wrote wow beside it, and then since then it has been known as the wow signal. Okay, so yeah, so that's the story behind it. इसके वो signals के बाद I think many people came up with the hypothesis. Some people came up with the hypothesis कि हाँ, maybe हो सकता है शायद ये it's a signal coming from a natural body or some natural like it's not really man-made, right? There was some hypothesis on the side of the signal being natural in origin, and some hypothesis on the side of the signal being actually coming, a signal actually coming from a life form. However, neither of these hypotheses have been like proven, etc. So अभी भी वहाँ पे कोई चीज़ prove नहीं हुई है. So yeah, that's about it. So much for extraterrestrial, right? Extraterrestrial life. So let's come. By the way, extraterrestrial से आपको एक और word obviously that we can discuss is terrestrial. Okay, let me write it in a darker ink. Terrestrial basically means anything that relates to, well, earth or land, right? Terrestrial. Territorial is another word. ये सारे words भी हम लोग भी आने वाले sessions में देखेंगे, right? This terra or terra is such a is a term that has many words coming from it, right? So we will have to probably deal with this in 2 different sessions. Anyhow, let's come to the next word, which is terrarium. So terrarium जानने से पहले you must have, let's discuss aquarium. Have you heard of aquarium? An aquarium is basically an artificial place to keep fishes and other small aquatic animals usually, right? Assuming it's a small aquarium. अगर बड़े aquariums भी होते हैं तो वहाँ पे बड़े organisms को भी रखा जाता है. So aquarium, the way an aquarium is kind of usually a glass case with filled with water, which is oxygenated, etc. And in which the people keep fishes and other small aquatic animals. उसी तरीके से terrarium is also a glass case, usually a glass or a glass case or a transparent enclosure, which is used to raise small animals or animals that usually live on earth, like reptiles, turtles, etc. Right? So aquarium के अंदर आपके पानी वाले जंतु रखे जाते हैं, right? So the animals that come, the aquatic life, right? The animals which are aquatic in nature, they are kept in aquariums, and animals which are found on earth are kept in terrariums. आपने देखा होगा काफी बार ये people keep these turtles and these lizards usually in these glass cases. Obviously the glass cases have perforated holes for them to be able to breathe, but yes, ये काफी बार they have this practice. So that's a terrarium, by the way. Let's come to the next term, which is terrier. Okay, a terrier is basically a small dog which originally was used to dig out burrowed animals. अच्छा, आप लोग को याद है? So I'm sure many of you guys must have played this. So there used to be this video game जो TV में लगा के खेलते थे, not the PlayStation and the Xbox stuff, like the old school video games जो आपके आते थे, with player 1 and player 2 remote आपका रहता था, and you plug it into the TV, and then you insert the cassette there, right? And in that game there used to be like उस video game में एक game होती थी duck hunt, right? And in that duck hunt, like apart from these remotes, there would also be generally be a optical gun, which you will उस गेम में क्या होगा, on the screen you'll see maybe some grassland or some scenery, right? And then suddenly at some point of time a duck will start flying away from the bottom, similar to the way that these sparks are flying away, like इधर से एक duck उड़ के यहाँ जा रहा है, and then you have to like point your optical gun on the screen of the TV towards the duck, and you have to shoot it, right? So that was duck hunt. And then इसमें क्या होगा, like what you'll notice that if you miss shooting a particular duck, right, and if it successfully flies away, there used to be this very funny little dog that will come over these bushes and then laugh at you, right? I'm not sure कितने लोगों ने ये देखा होगा, आप relate, आप एक बार just Google it, आपको मिल जाएगा, इसका वीडियो भी मिल जाएगा. And it used to be like, it's as if it's laughing at the hunter. And then but that's essentially what a terrier is. Not a dog that laughs at you, but rather a dog that helps you in hunting game or in hunting animals which generally get burrowed, right? Ducks तो आपके burrowed नहीं होते होंगे, but generally terrier is used for driving out these animals which dig out and go into the ground, right? And hence this term derives from terra, that means earth, right? So these are dogs that originally were used to dig out burrowed animals, उनको hunt करने के लिए, उनको करके ये बाहर ले आएंगे, उनको बाहर भगा देंगे, and then once they are out, the hunters can hunt them. So that's a terrier, right? There are rat terriers, there are bull terriers. Bull terrier doesn't necessarily mean कि वो bull को ऐसा कुछ कर रहे हैं, and but it's just the name so far as I know. Okay, so I'm not an expert with dogs, so excuse those detail specific errors there. चलो तो terrier आपका हो गया. Let's move on to the next term, which is अच्छा terrier का भी we have an image. Just have a look at this. So these are your terriers, right? See they are trying to dig out maybe some burrowed animal from here. Okay. Anyhow, coming to the next one, next term, which is interment. Okay, interment is basically just the ritual practice of burying a corpse in a grave, and you can see how it derives from the roots in and ter, right? So in means, well, inside. In this case simply stands for inside, and then however ter jo aapka second wala part hai, ter comes from terra, that means putting inside the earth, putting into the earth, right? So the ritual practice of burying a corpse in a grave is simply considered as interment, right? Similarly, you have another term which is disinter, to disinter something. Wait, इसको ठीक से लिखते हैं यार. Excuse me, guys. To disinter something, you can think, try to guess the meaning of this if you want. Like inter is like to put inside earth, right? So disinter is like to basically take something or dig up something that has been buried already, right? कोई चीज already दफनाई हुई है, उसको निकाल के लाना. So that's what disinter stands for. Disinter means to dig up something that has been buried, generally a corpse, generally related to a corpse. Okay, so yeah, so that's about the words that we have for today. Let's move on to the sentences. At this point, guys, you can pause the video and go through the sentence usages of these words, by going through these sentences that have been listed here. And as you can see, these have been sourced from some reliable sources. The credits have been mentioned here. Okay, so you can do that. Here you can again pause the video and test yourself. You just need to find the correct order of sentences which have been shuffled, so that the right sentence, is along with the right word. The words are fixed on the left side. You can also attempt this test via a Google form, the link to which has been provided in the description. So guys, here's the summary of the roots and words that we studied on a primary and secondary basis. What you can do is you can pause the video if you want and try to recall the meaning of these roots and the words that we discussed in the session today. Finally, guys, I'm Anupam Mishra and I'm Lucknow alumnus. These are my areas of work and expertise. These are the brands that I've worked with, and these are my CAT credentials. I've also worked as an Academy educator in the past, recognized by the Johnny Ivy Award for best course design and delivery. And yeah, so that's about me. Sluggers, guys, we are a growing channel. मैं यहाँ पे काफ़ी सारी जो दिक्कतें हैं यहाँ पे टेस्ट प्रेप में मैं उनको एड्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ स्लगर्स के द्वारा. एंड बिकॉज वी आर अ ग्रोइंग चैनल, हमें आपके पूरे सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत होगी. तो अगर आपको हमारा कंटेंट और डिलीवरी अच्छा लगता है देन डू like and subscribe, like the videos and subscribe to the channel and share it with anyone who you think might benefit from these. आपके लिए शायद वो एक सिंपल सा क्लिक या एक बटन रहता होगा, बट फॉर अ ग्रोइंग चैनल इट मेक्स अ बिग डिफरेंस फॉर अस. सो प्लीज डू दैट. अगर आप नेक्स्ट वीडियो देखना चाहते हैं तो आप यहाँ क्लिक कर सकते हैं. एंड इफ यू वांट टू गो टू द वेरी फर्स्ट वीडियो ऑफ द सीरीज, जो अगर आपने नहीं देखा हो तो आप यहाँ क्लिक करके आगे जा सकते हैं. ओके, सो दैट्स अबाउट इट फ्रॉम माय साइड. थैंक यू.